What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and Season 10 is here. Season 9 is gone. We've got new move updates, we got the schedule for the new season, we got new battles, we got a fresh ranking and ELO state for the season. This season's going to run from the Monday, November 29th, so that's already come and gone yesterday, and we'll be going until February 28th, I want to say, so the end of February. Beginning of March is when this season will come to a close. Now, this is a quick reminder to put a star piece on if you have not been to the battle screen yet since the end of the season, because that pop-up, once it comes up, it will give you a buttload of Stardust. If you've hit like rank 20 and above, it's a substantial amount of dust that you'll get. It's worth boosting that Stardust gain, so you got some more resources to build some more Pokemon for the new season. Now, because it's a new season, and that means ranks are reset, and it's an absolute free-for-all, this means that you're going to be matched up with potentially anybody at any skill level, since we're all back down at rank 1, rank 2, and climbing up from there. So I'm not going to be talking too heavily about the battles going on. I might talk about some here and there and make some commentary on a few of the teams. I just wanted to have some fun at the beginning of the season, use a few different teams, and just see how it went. To start off, I wanted to try the classic Caleb Peng line, the original viral Pokemon Go GBL team from way back when in the early seasons, and see how long a win streak I could go on with it. Obviously, this is very high risk. This team is not as meta as it used to be, since there are a lot more fire types prevalent. There are a lot more core breakers for this team prevalent, especially this season, since they've buffed, I believe, Magcargo, which is another super big threat to this team that would completely sweep. Talonflame would sweep this team. So, you know, just chucking it in there and just seeing how it gets on for a bit of fun. We're not going to take it too seriously at the start of the season anyway, and just gradually climb up until we get our ELO rating at rank 20. We do experiment with some pretty out there teams, and I'm going to warn you guys now, some of these teams did not work well, and I did not do very well utilizing them. So take it with a pinch of salt. Like I said, this was fun. It was late last night trying to smash my 30 battles in the first night once it dropped, because the new season starts at 9 PM for me here in the UK. So I have 3 hours to do the battles before midnight, and then I get the next day's battles. And I'd saved a set from the previous season by activating a set but not doing any battles from it from the previous day, so from the Sunday. So I had 30 battles last night, and then I'll be doing more battles today and making some more content for you guys from those. Don't forget to focus blast the subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, and let's talk about the new season. So as we've said, the season runs from Monday, November 29th until February 28th. I don't even know what day that falls on. It's probably a Monday. A lot of their tickovers for seasons end up being on Monday evenings for the UK, Monday afternoon, I believe, for the US. So rank up requirements are the same. It's the same number of battles you have to win to gain ranks, apparently, as the last season, up to rank 20, and then the score requirements in your ELO to hit the higher ranks once you're past rank 20 should be remaining the same. So 2,000 for Ace, 2,500 for Veteran, 2,750 for Expert, and 3,000 for Legend rank. Now, the biggest update they've made, the best update they've made, the Pokemon appearing in Go Battle League encounters will now be slightly easier to catch. We did it, guys. We've all come together, told Niantic to shove their legendary encounters up their nether regions and make them easier to catch, because the amount of time we've spent throwing Pokeballs, wasting resources, catching those damn things just so we can battle more is abhorrent. So it's brilliant that that's done. Hopefully it's notably easier. They say slightly, but hopefully it really focuses on the legendaries and makes them easier, because they're the biggest concern really in regards to that issue. Okay, now let's take a look at the schedule for the season. So for the first 2 weeks, we're going to have Great League and Great League Remix. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that meta and what's banned and what's appropriate really to be using a little bit later on in the video. Then after that, for 2 weeks, we're going to have the Ultra League Remix, and the Holiday Cup. And again, we'll talk about these special cups a little bit closer to them actually coming around. We'll focus mainly talking a little bit about the Great League Remix, probably in this video and in the next one. Then a couple of weeks after that, Master League Classic, Holiday Cup. That's going to be pretty standard, triple Stardust rewards from the Master League again, because they're trying to encourage people into playing the Master League, since it's quite exclusionary in the fact they got to have those maxed out Pokemon. Then we'll have another couple of weeks of Great League paired up with the Sinnoh Cup, because obviously they're on a big push of the Sinnoh region, what with the release of the Diamond and Pearl remakes. we've got Ultra League Premier Classic, a couple of weeks after that. And then we're going to have the Master League Premier Classic. Again, thank you, God. I love the Master League Premier Classic. Love Cup to around the Valentine's season. And then, of course, at the end of the season, we're going to have all 3 leagues available again, the Great League, the Ultra League and the Master League, and then the Johto Cup alongside. Unsure if that means we might be getting a Johto Day, similar to how we got a Kanto Day earlier this year, when they actually released the rest of the shiny families for that region. We'll have to see, but I've got a feeling that they might be going to do something like that, or perhaps it's just some kind of tie-in to the main series games. We'll have to wait and see. Now, just so you guys know, all this information is available on the Pokemon Go Live website. I put a link to it in the description down below if you want to go check it out for yourself and scroll through it at your own pace for that information. I'm going to be going through most of that here today. The Go Battle Days are back. Obviously, Go Battle Days, fantastic if you're quite a hardcore player and enjoy just having a day to go quite try hard at it and try and gain some ranking, gain some rewards. And these are going to be the days where you can play 100 matches in a 24-hour window. You get quadruple Stardust rewards, but does not include the end of set rewards. It's just the actual rewards for winning either 1 or 5 games in a normal set. And I'm not sure where the Stardust rewards actually lie in a premium set. I don't often do the premium sets in Go Battle League, if I'm honest. I get quite a lot of Stardust from playing non-premium version. And honestly, I do too many battles to really be spending regular raid passes on every single set that I do. But they're going to be happening on January 8th, January 23rd, and February 6th. I believe all these fall on weekends, so good for those that work the Monday to Fridays. If you work the weekends, maybe you'll have to arrange a round to get some more free time on that day. Depending on what leagues are active, it can cost a lot of time. It can take a long time to do 100 battles. If you're in the Ultra League, where a lot of matches tend to time out because everything is so bulky, it can take forever to do 100 matches. If the average game's taking you 4 minutes, 5 minutes, it might take you 30 seconds to a minute to actually find a game. That adds up a lot. But they're going to be there, they're going to be fun, and we're going to gain some ELO ranking. They're a little later in the season than I believe they were this season. I believe the first Go Battle Day was quite early on and actually gave people a lot of chance to climb up towards rank 20 that hadn't hit it yet. If I remember right from early on this season, I'm sure the first Go Battle Day was pretty early, and it seems like this season they're going to be a little later, probably when a lot of the more hardcore players are definitely on that ELO grind after hitting rank 20. But we'll just have to wait and see how it falls, because obviously the ELO cap does slowly climb. Everyone kind of starts somewhere in the 2000s in general if you're a very skilled trainer, and then possibly in the mid-teen hundreds if you're on the mid-tier kind of skill level. Now, there are going to be guaranteed encounters once again. You guys know how these work. It's like in a lot of previous seasons, the first encounter, I think, for a few seasons was Charizard, where you were guaranteed a Charizard encounter in the first time you got an encounter in the Go Battle League. And this season, the first encounter you're guaranteed in the rank 1 will be Pyro. Rank 6, you'll be guaranteed a Mienfoo. Veteran rank, you'll be guaranteed Noibat. Expert rank, you'll be guaranteed at least 1 Dino. And then at Legend rank, your next encounter will be guaranteed to be a Pikachu Libre. Now, Noibat, Mienfoo and Pyro can't be shiny, but Dino, Pikachu Libre can be. That's always hype. And these Pokemon do get added to the pool of potential encounters once you have passed that threshold. Apart from Pikachu Libre, you only get one of those when you hit Legend rank. Now, I am actually just at the end of the first set here, and I won 5-0, so I get my encounter, and it's the Pyro that's guaranteed. So I believe after this point, Pyro goes into the pool of potential encounters and can possibly be encountered again. I'm not 100% sure, because I don't think I've ever seen a Charizard that isn't in the rank 1 encounter. I don't know if it's in there. That could just be my RNG never giving me it. I'm not sure, but you guarantee at least 1 Pyro anyway on that first rank, which is kind of nice, I guess. So, now talking about the general encounter pool that it's going to pull from for the vast majority of your encounters. And at rank 1, that's going to be Bayleaf, Quilava, Croconaw, Spinarak, Chinchou, and Azumarill. So, quite an interesting pool. Spinarak's nice for the shiny check. Chinchou's nice for the shiny check for those that don't have it. And also, you know, Lantern makes a solid Azumarill shut down in the Great League, so it could be good to go for them, as well as those Gen 2 starter mid-evolutions is nice for some candy. Meganium is still underrated in the Great League, and potentially it's got some good play in the Ultra League. I don't think quite as much in general, especially compared to Venusaur. Typhlosion, I believe, is very underrated in the Ultra League. Fantastic choice. For Alligator's a bit spicy for a water type, but that's just because there are so many absolute hard meta water types prevalent in all leagues. Water types are just strong pretty much wherever they go, apart from, I guess, the Master League, but that's because there's so many dragons flying around. Once you reach rank 6, I said Mienfoo will not only be an encounter, but it will, a guaranteed encounter, but then it will go into the general pool. There'll be a chance you'll get a Mienfoo encounter after that point onwards. Rank 11 onwards, there'll be Noctowl, Forretress, Shieldon, Skuntank, Frillish. That's quite a nice selection of Pokemon to add in. Shieldon's fantastic for grinding the candies for building a Bastiodon as well as the shiny check. Noctowl got a move update this season, and it's looking like it could be pretty strong in the right scenarios and in the right team, so that's nice to see it getting some love. Skuntank, again, solid poison user, comparable really to Drapion, I would say, in the vast majority of its play. It's got access to Crunch, got access to those poison, fast moves, good for taking on Azumarill, and also Frillish, again, fantastic choice for the Great League Ultra League, great for grinding candies. Rank 16 onwards, we're talking Larvitar, Scraggy, Rufflet, and of course at rank 20, we're going to get whatever legendary is currently available in raids. You will also have potential to encounter them in your Go Battle League reward, which is always super nice. As far as the rank 16 ones go, Larvitar's nice if you're grinding the candies. You don't really get much chance to get Larvitars anymore, unless they do events that obviously boost them in spawns. Scraggy's nice because Scrafty is pretty strong in the Great League and the Ultra League, and Rufflet's good for the shiny check. I don't think Braviary has much play at this point, but you never know. They give it a good move update in the future. I reckon it could have some potential, although I think it's a bit attack weighted, but I could be absolutely talking out of my rear end there. I don't honestly know Braviary all that well. And of course the Noibat and the Dino from rank, from the veteran rank and expert rank onwards respectively. Dino's great for the shiny check. I personally have 3 shiny Dinos, very, very lucky to get those, so I don't actually need it, but it's nice to grind the candies, maybe get a potential hundo out of those since they do have a guaranteed IV floor of 10, same as raids and egg hatchers. Just a quick side note on what's going on in the actual battles right now. I decided to try something. It felt like it might be a functional team. I wanted to try something with 2 Regis in it. I don't have access to a Great League Regirock. Regirock is quite hard to get a hold of in the Great League, as you had to get it from that one time that it was available as a weekly research breakthrough reward. Ages ago was the only time you can get a Regirock for the Great League, which is a real shame because it is quite good and has some play compared to Regice. But thought, put Registeel, put Regice on a team and maybe cover some of their weaknesses with Toxicroak on the front, since it's got that ground damage, it's got that counter damage, and it's resisting fighters thanks to its poison typing. But it's a bit of a... You'll see how those battles go as they chip away in the background here. Now, this is in the Remix Cup, by the way. We decided to do the first set in the Open Great League with the Caleb Peng team since Scammer is banned in the Remix Cup. And then we went into Remix Cup and Registeel is actually usable in it because it's not as popular as it was since the rise of Galarian Stunfisk. But so we figured, the Regis might do alright since Galarian Stunfisk isn't there. But yeah, you'll see how those matches progress. Now, let's talk about the avatar items for this season. It's always a little bit hype. I find it quite exciting going for those champion poses, those notable characters from the main series games. You want to get those poses, you want to look stylish, get those fancy poses. So in Season 10, it's going to be by Lysandre, who was the leader of Team Flare in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. I never played Pokemon X and Y. They were after my time. I only really played the first 3 generations of Pokemon and then they moved over to the DS. And I never had a DS growing up as a kid. So I actually missed Gen 4, 5, 6 and 7 in terms of main series. But I did pick up a remake of Diamond this time around now that they've been dropped on the Switch. So I'm looking forward to playing through that. I've only just beaten the first gym, I think, at this point. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. But long story short, the avatar items and pose will be Lysandre, whatever, you know, you see his name. You know who I mean if you've played those games, surely. Now, at Ace rank, you'll get his gloves, Veteran rank, his shoes, Expert rank, you'll get his trousers, his pants, and at Legend rank, you'll get his jacket and you'll get his pose. I don't know what his pose will be, but I imagine it's pretty cool. I think that the poses for Legend rank trainers are getting cooler as the seasons go on. I personally love the Leon one. I've still got it on now. I think it's just awesome. I really wanted that pose and that top. I just like his style. He's a pretty cool dude, right? Even if he is getting lost everywhere. And of course, once you reach rank 19, they will give you an Elite Charge TM, which you do not have to pay for like you do in the Community Day boxes in general. And at the end of season, as an end of season reward, if you're past rank 19, you will get an Elite Fast TM, which is super, super nice. Okay, let's talk about the changes to attacks that are currently in the game. They haven't added any new moves for this season, but they have made some changes to existing ones to try and make them more meta-relevant, or to try to make certain Pokemon more meta-relevant. So, first up, Rock Tomb. Now, they're not actually changing its damage or energy, but they're giving it a guaranteed debuff, so when you use it, it will lower the opponent's attack, and that's guaranteed. There are a few Pokemon have access to Rock Tomb. I don't think it'll make the biggest difference, since Rock Slide and Stone Edge are quite strong moves, and Rock Tomb is probably the worst rock move alongside Ancient Power, but at least Ancient Power has the chance for the game-breaking double boost on attack and defense. It might be good for those bulky Pokemon running Smackdown that are just relentless damage, and it makes them last longer by reducing the opponent's attack that's trying to wear them down, but we'll see how that actually plays out. They're actually going to nerf the damage that Pound does, which is a fast move, normal type fast move, and you don't really see any Pokemon that actually run Pound apart from Chansey. And we all know Chansey from the Kanto Cup, dominating the Kanto Cup meta. XL Chansey running Pound, it's absolutely relentless. So I guess they've wanted to kind of make the Kanto Cup a little bit more easy to compete in with things that aren't that hard meta the next time it comes around. So they're nerfing Pound. Maybe they're worried about another Pokemon that they might be releasing that has access to it that they think might be busted as well. Who knows? But long story short, they're nerfing Pound just a little bit. Bug Buzz is getting a buff. It's getting an increase to its damage, and this is gonna, they say that it's to boost Wormadam's, Vespiquen's and Yanmega's charge attack options, but honestly, like, Galvantula has access to Bug Buzz, and it hits bloody hard. Like, Lunge is a great move for it to have, lowering the opponent's attack, but Bug Buzz is also a solid move if you want something that hits a little bit harder from an already hard hitting Spider Boy. So the damage is going to be boosted from 90 to 100, and that's going to be both in trainer battles and raids that it's going to get that buff. So you could see some more bug types getting some more play, and that might help combat some of the more dark types that we see dominating a lot of metas. Darks are very powerful typing, and bug charge moves can help quell that a little bit and help balance them out. Now this is where it gets interesting, the attack availability updates. This means that they're giving Pokemon that already exist in the game access to moves that they couldn't learn before in an attempt to make them more meta relevant. Now, first up on the list, Donphan will be able to learn Body Slam. This is absolutely monumental for Donphan. Donphan had potential because it's a ground type. It has access to Counter as a fast move. I believe it has access to Play Rough and Earthquake as charge moves. It has some play, but honestly it's kind of depending on quite nukey moves. So giving it Body Slam to bait shields out, it could really throw some metas off. It could really be a core breaker for certain teams and really throw some opponents off. So very excited to see how Donphan can perform. I believe it's valid for both the Great League and the Ultra League. I don't think it's quite big enough stat-wise to compete in the Master League, but also anything with counter could potentially do quite well in there. Noctowl is going to be able to learn Shadow Ball. This is a fantastic move for Noctowl to learn. Shadow Ball is an awesomely powerful move. Noctowl was kind of a bit of fringe meta, especially in Sylph Cups and things like that, where some of the other stronger flyers might have been excluded. But Shadow Ball, it complements Noctowl. It does it pretty well. You could run Sky Attack on it. I believe it's got Wing Attack. So it's got solid moves. Noctowl and Shadow Ball is going to complement it well. Magcargo is getting an absolute overhaul. You've probably never seen a Magcargo in Go Battle League up to this point, and that's for good reason. Actually, maybe they were in one of the special cups, I believe. Were they in the Love Cup or something like that? They were useful. I forget, but they had access to Rock Throw or Smackdown or something that made them a good anti-flyer. But now it's going to be able to learn Incinerate. As we know, Incinerate is a super strong but very slow fast move. It's brilliant damage. It suits it because it's stab typing. And again, we were talking about like the Caleb Peng team earlier with Steel Double Grass. Incinerate would absolutely melt that team. And also it's going to get access to Rock Tomb for that debuffing the attack, which means it can just grind opponents down better with that Incinerate damage if it wants to. I believe it also has access to... It almost definitely has access to a Fire Charge move, I would assume, but I don't know off the top of my head. But maybe Magcargo is going to be quite interesting to see. I think it could be quite meta-relevant moving forward. They're going to give Octillery access to Lock On, and there aren't many Pokemon that aren't the Regis that have access to Lock On, but it is a very, very fast energy-generating move. As we know, it only does 1 damage no matter what type it's throwing, who it's throwing against. It's just 1 damage every turn, which is twice a second, so you know it's very, very spammy if you've got nuke charge moves, and I believe Octillery has solid coverage moves in having water nukes and poison nukes. And Sudowoodo getting access to Rock Tomb. Sudowoodo, again, underappreciated in the meta. Rock typing isn't the strongest in PvP metas because it's weak to fighting, it's weak to water, weak to grass. It's got a lot of weaknesses, not a lot of strengths. But Sudowoodo has access to counter again, I believe, as a fast move, which is, again, anything that has access to counter has the potential to be solid with the right moves to complement it. Counter is such a strong fast move. Lairon is getting access to Rock Tomb. Aggron's getting access to Rock Tomb. Again, I think they're trying to get some love in there for some of these underappreciated Pokemon. Aggron sees almost no play in PvP. It's kind of one of the less useful steel typings that's good in the Ultra League. Again, there's a lot of water types floating around which really undermine its usability in the Great and the Ultra Leagues in general, but we might be able to see it getting a bit more play now since it could be grinding opponents down with that Smackdown damage, and again, nerfing the damage coming in against it with that Rock Tomb debuff. And Claydol's getting another move update. I believe it got access to something new last season as well, and still it wasn't good. Nobody wanted to use it, and now they're giving it access to Rock Tomb as well. And I believe they really do want Claydol to get some love, but I don't know if this is going to be the difference that makes it. Claydol, unfortunately, with it being Psychic and Ground, gives it a lot of weaknesses. Weak to water, weak to dark, weak to grass, weak to ice. It's weak to bug, I believe. Yeah, it's just... There's a lot of things that it's got to worry about that are very prevalent in the meta, so it's tough to build a team around it and cover its weaknesses. Just a quick transition back to the battles. Currently, the team I was running for set number 3 was the original best meta Great League team, and that was before Galarian Stunfisk, before a lot of other Pokemon came to start undermining this core, and that was Azumarill, Altaria, and Registeel. This was a very, very strong team and hard to deal with for the first several seasons in the Great League, but almost everybody was running it in some orientation or another. So this was one of the teams that I believe the Caleb Peng line was designed to help deal with, since Meganium has play against Registeel and Azumarill, Shiftry has play against Registeel and Azumarill, and Skarmory can go toe-to-toe and shut down Altaria pretty well. Now, we are going to be using these new Pokemon, trying them out in the Great League meta, at least while it's here, and seeing how well they perform, but I didn't feel it would be appropriate to use them straight away from the start of the season because, like we said, there's such a massive cluster mess at the start of the season. You're against people of all sorts of rankings, you're in all sorts of teams. Sometimes you come up against teams of people running things that are only 1100 CP, they're not double moved, they're not meta moved, and sometimes you come up against solid back-to-back meta lines. Like some of these, I think in about 10 out of the 30 games I played people that were legend rank last season, which was quite surprising, but I'm not sure if Niantic does have something in place so it's not quite as free-for-all-y as it might seem it is, to try and, you know, not discourage new players by ranking them up against legend rank players, straight away with hard meta teams that are going to completely destroy them, and then they're not going to feel like playing it, they're not going to feel like learning if they lose that badly, you know? So I can respect it if that is in place behind the scenes for sure. So yeah, we're going to probably try out Noctowl and Magcargo and Donphan once we've climbed up a couple more ranks and get a little bit more settled into the season, and you're going to start seeing a bit more disparity. You're going to start playing people a little bit more appropriate to your skill level rather than that potentially completely random matchmaking, and actually see how they perform against more meta teams and more meta players. Okay, now let's talk about the Great League remix for this season, as there is actually a different ban list, I believe, to last season, because they judge the ban list on the most used trainers that are ace rank or higher. So the most what you would assume meta Pokemon from the previous season, and these get banned to help create a new meta, make people think outside the box on what to use. So ban list, top to bottom. Number 1, Venusaur. Obvious choice. Venusaur is a very, very strong grass type. Does get shut down by the flyers, but it's a very common core part of a lot of meta teams. Nidoqueen, we've all seen far too much Nidoqueen this season. It started to dominate the Great League and the Ultra League and the XL variant this last season since the updates to the poison moves. Hello and Ninetales, again fantastically strong. Azumarill and Umbreon, the absolute classics. Skarmory, Swampert, Vigoroth, Sableye, Medicham, Altaria, Defense Form Deoxys, Bastiodon, Scrafty, Jellicent, Garvantula, Galarian Stunfisk, Mandibuzz, Talonflame, and Obstagoon. That's the ban list. A lot of very obvious choices in there. It's a shame that some Pokemon get banned when others do. I mean, a lot of people's only teams comprise entirely of these Pokemon. So I do like the remix formats. It really makes people think outside the box on what to use. So it's going to be an interesting meta for sure. Always banning Bastiodon makes flyers a lot more viable, but also the strongest flyers are banned. We've lost Skarmory, we'll lose Talonflame, Mandibuzz, and Altaria. So if you want to use a flyer, you've got to really think outside the box, probably in the form of Noctowl. You know, that's probably what they're thinking when they gave it Shadow Ball. Noctowl will be very, very strong. Kind of surprised not to see Politoed and Pelipper banned, since they are also Weather Ball spammers. And they did nerf Weather Ball last season, but it was only by like 5 damage. Weather Ball is still an incredibly strong meta move. So maybe Politoed and Pelipper are going to be very, very strong picks for the Remix Cup as well. We'll just have to see. So, with the formalities of the season kind of addressed, like I said, we'll talk about the metas of the various cups and specialty cups, remixes that are coming up down the line. But let's have a look at some of these battles and how some of these teams are performing. As you can see, this meta line that we used for this set, the classic meta line, is still doing very, very well. Registeel, Azumarill, and Altaria are just a very, very strong lineup. There are still some things that would give this team trouble, especially if we ran into a Galarian Stunfisk on the lead. We might struggle quite heavily, but it's taken us pretty well in this match. We're in a little bit of a precarious position in this match because this Azumarill does have Hydro Pump, but I think we're going to try and pull off a sneaky catch. We're going to try and catch a Play Rough onto the Registeel, and that should then undermine the energy that they've got left. We should be able to then take them out. Let's see what this is. Did we catch it? We did. It's a Play Rough. Awesome. Fantastic. That's going to give us the win in this match. We're going to be able to get to the moves and take them out. So, able to take a 4-1 in that set with that team, despite it having kind of modern weaknesses in PvP. So, if you've only got the classic stuff, the Azumarill, Altaria, Registeel, give it a go. It's a solid team, I think. It came up against some meta lines there and performed pretty well. For the next set, we decided to give Deden a try. Dedenne a go in the Great League remix, and this was pairing it up with Double Ghost in the back in the form of Frostlass and Haunter. This is a very, very glassy team, and Dedenne is a strong pick for sure. It's got interesting coverage and moves. The fairy typing gives it some nice bulk against a lot of like the dragon breath damage things. Like, it can cope well with Altaria, whereas other electric types sometimes struggle with Altaria's bulk and relentless dragon breath damage. It's a solid pick for sure. Like, as you can see, it is squishy, and this is a pretty PvP oriented build. I believe it's I don't know the exact IVs, but I think it's around rank 120 for its actual IV spread for the Great League. So it's reasonable in terms of getting some bulk, but it's still just not bulky enough. Haunter and Frostlass are both very squishy as well. Neither of them can take... Frostlass can take some charge moves that aren't super effective, but Haunter generally can't really survive any charge move that is just neutral. So this Registeel is going to take us out, and then Frostlass isn't going to be able to get to enough moves to take it out. They do swap in a Trevenant here, and if they choose to let the Trevenant go down, it doesn't really make a difference. We're not going to be able to finish them off. They are going to shield and get a Shadow Ball off, but we wouldn't be able to beat the Registeel anyway. We wouldn't have been able to farm down or anything like that. So that's going to be a good game. I do think Dedenne has play in both the Open Great League and the Great League Remix. This team is just probably not the way that you want to go about that. I think you probably need bulkier options so that you can commit shields to Dedenne rather than feeling like you need to keep the shields for Haunter or for Frostlass. They all really need at least one shield each to put some hard work in. We're going to go for the catch here to try and save a shield. We catch a Surf, which is fantastic, but then they're going to bring in a Toxicroak, and we can... I didn't realise that Frostlass loses CMP to Toxicroak. I suppose it... Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. But it is quite a PvP-oriented Frostlass as well that I have from a previous cup, I think, where it became quite meta-relevant as a safe swap. I don't remember what cup that was, but I remember using Frostlass as a safe swap a lot, and it is quite strong. But again, it can't take that Mud Bomb from Toxicroak. We're already at half health. It would have taken us out. And they've got a Superior in the back. So this might actually be winnable because if it's got grass moves, we'll resist them. And we should be able to survive at least one, even though the Vine Whip's even adding up alone. Because, like I said, Haunter is just stupidly squishy. They have Aerial Ace. Now, the question is it's a non-stab Aerial Ace. It's an absolutely a terrible move. Can we survive one? And then get off this Shadow Punch and take out the Superior. Aerial Ace, we just survive. We're going to get to this 1 HP and a Dream, and this should be giving us the win in this game. GG. Now, I do think that Dedenne is best as a lead, probably. There are still like a lot of Pokemon that can hard shut it down, especially in the Open Great League. Galarian Stunfisk shuts it down very, very well, and that's obviously quite common in the meta. But I think as a lead, it's generally quite strong, wins a lot of leads, but you need other Pokemon that complement it better than these two ghosts in the back. And like I said, you really need bulkier options. You need Pokemon that can take a hit, because we're having to shield basically every charge move with this team, and then once we're out of shields, we're just getting swept up by most things. This Wireless is going to give us problems because we're not going to be able to get to a Sludge Bomb, so we can't nuke it or force a shield, which is unfortunate. They called that it's a Shadow Punch because we weren't quite at the Sludge Bomb yet, and then they've got Ninetales in the back, and we certainly can't bring Frostlass into a regular Ninetales because that Fire Spin damage is going to absolutely wreck house. Frostlass can do okay against Wireless, but also as Wireless has access to Dark moves, which are going to hit very, very hard. And we know that it won't matter if we don't even take out this Ninetales anyway. The Discharge isn't going to be enough to KO. It's going to get it pretty low, but not quite enough. And then it's just going to be able to sweep the team here. We don't quite get the Discharge off, which is really unfortunate. And we're just going to get annihilated here. But not a big stress. As we said, we are taking it pretty easy in these first few sets, experimenting with some different teams, some spice, some fun, and see what we can get away with. And it would seem that this Double Ghost line is not really a team that we can get away with. But, like I said, don't be fooled. These are all very strong Pokemon, Frostlass, Haunter and Dedenne. They're all very, very good, but not together. And I will no doubt be making a team, a much more meta, stronger team with Dedenne in future, because I think it's very, very interesting. And since I've gone to the effort of building one recently, I might as well put it to some solid use and get some wins out of it. Trevenant is also giving this line some issues. The Shadow Claw damage is relentless. The Seed Bomb's going to do nice shit damage against Frostlass, so we're tempted to shield that anyway. But we get both shields, come in with Haunter, farm down, and hope we can absolutely sweep. But then obviously we know they have Drapion, which resists both the Sludge Bomb and the Shadow Punch. It's going to do big damage all the same, resisted or not. But still, the Crunch would knock us out, so we're tempted to shield this. I think we are going to, yep. Shield swap to Dedenne, see what the opponent's going to do. They swap and catch this Discharge, which isn't the biggest problem. I I think realistically you could probably throw... Would 2 Play Roughs knock out Cresselia? We'll see. We're going to throw a Play Rough here and see how much damage it actually does. Take that Moonblast does hit pretty hard, but we definitely can't get farmed down by the Psycho Coats. Play Rough does quite big damage, and now 1 more discharge is going to get this thing pretty low. It might KO. It might not quite KO. No, it does. It takes them out. And now can we get to the discharge? We try to catch. This might screw us because we catch a Crunch. I thought we were going to catch an Aqua Tail. That's unfortunate. The Drapion's got energy. They're going to take us out. Quite a close game that though, but did require the attempts at catching just to make up for the need for shields in that game for sure. Now, if I remember rightly, this opponent, brings a Venomoth. Venomoth's a nice, interesting choice. It has Confusion, which is obviously big damage as a fast move, reasonable energy gain, and it actually has access to Poison Fang, which I didn't realise that it actually had, which is why we let it through. Does massive damage to Dedenne there. So, I guess it kind of got underappreciated last season since Poison Fang got a buff, but I didn't really see anyone running Venomoth. It is kind of spice, I guess. It's pretty spicy, but also it could have some solid play with Confusion and Poison Fang. I think that's a solid combination of moves. And here in the Remix Cup, I think it can definitely put some work in since Galarian Stunfisk is banned. Like I said, Galarian Stunfisk is a gatekeeper really for a lot of potentially very strong Pokemon in the Great League. It just walls so many things with ground and steel typing. It's such a strong Pokemon. It's got such good stats and such good moves. It really does shut down a lot of Pokemon that otherwise will be able to put a lot of work in. This opponent's got Toxicroak in the back, and I contemplate whether I should have thrown the Sludge Bomb here for more damage. I don't know if Resisted Sludge Bomb does more than Neutral Shadow Punch. If so, it might have KO'd, we might have taken the win. But either way, GG to that opponent. We're going to hit rank 5 here, and then we've got 1 more set because, like I said, we had 6 sets to do in the first day. Wait, no, what am I talking about? We've got 2 more sets, yeah, because we've only done 4 sets so far and we had 6. So in this set, this is another Remix Cup team that I kind of chucked together on the spot, taking advantage of the fact that Politoed was actually not banned from this cup, and obviously Politoed is very meta, and there's a lot of place for a strong water type in most metas here. And we've got Shiftry and then Dragonair in the back. Dragonair, I think, again, is a solid pick for Great League. It's just oftentimes a little undermined by the prevalence of Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk, since they're resisting the Dragon Breath damage and really shut what would otherwise be a very strong Pokemon down. So I wanted to give it a go in this meta, see how it performs, and I think this team did okay. Realistically, this Politoed needs to have Earthquake, I think, for better coverage on what it's running into. In this meta, Blizzard isn't particularly useful. It's not like we're running into Alterias and other flyers. So, but obviously I didn't want to spend an elite charge TM to get Earthquake. I believe Earthquake is legacy, whereas Blizzard is not. So if you're building a Politoed, be aware that you need an elite charge TM to get Earthquake on it. We get caught up against this Lapras here, and it's going to absolutely take us out. We got a lot of Weather Balls left to throw at this Lapras, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take it out. This could be close. They are getting pretty close to a Skull Bash, though. Can we make it? Can we get those last few Mud Shots off? One more Weather Ball will take them out. No, we just miss it. Basically, like 1 turn of difference there. They're going to get the Skull Bash off and take us out, and that's going to be their win. GG. Now, I think I'm going to show you guys this set of battles and then save the last set for the next video. This video is dragging on quite a long time. If you're still here, awesome, thank you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you're enjoying the content that long. To still be here 40 minutes in, you're an absolute legend. And now here we've got a Noctowl lead, and we decided to swap out the Politoed for Rainy Castform to add a little bit more spice, I guess, and also just to see what this thing can do. I felt like we needed more definite hard coverage against water types, and also with the Thunder it can threaten flying types quite nicely. Noctowl calls the Weather Ball quite well. No, they shielded when we had the Thunder potentially, and then we just threw another one to get some chip damage before we swapped. I'm not sure why we swapped into Shiftry, but also they brought out a Whiscash, so I guess they're going to like struggle with this. We absolutely annihilate that poor Whiscash. No, they swapped. What am I talking about? They swapped. We brought in Shiftry to punish the Whiscash, and that's why we're in that position. They wouldn't swap out of Noctowl if we had Shiftry in. Of course, that'd be ridiculous. But we got so much energy here, we're going to be able to get to a Leaf Blade and a Foul Play, get rid of the shield and take out the Noctowl and see what they've got in the back. It's a Politoed, that's going to be our win. GG. I would say that out of the random remix teams that I've been trying in this video so far, this is the one that is most strong. It's a decent team. It's not trying too hard to be spicy and isn't just chucked together out of random things. These Pokemon work together quite well in this meta against a lot of the things that are common. They cover each other's weaknesses relatively well. Dragonair is a solid shot, like I said, without Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk lurking around every corner. And here, we do kind of want to... I think we're going to let this go now. Save the shield, Dragon Breath down with Dragonair and see what they want to come in with. This is a purified Dragonair, so it has access to Return, which will hit very, very hard against a lot of Pokemon. We decide we want to throw an Aqua Tail here before they get a move off. I'm not familiar with how bulky Dragonair actually is, but I think we're going to have to shield this up. It's a crunch. Now, can we get to one more Aqua Tail before they get to a crunch and take us out? We can. This should almost take out the Drapion. Oh no, they got a shield left, okay. We try to catch a crunch and we mess it up, and they bring in a Crustle, which isn't the best answer to Shiftry. Obviously the X-Scissor does massive double super effective damage, but also the Smackdowns don't chip away, but we don't have shields, so they're able to just bulk through enough to get that off and take us out. We need to farm down this Crustle entirely and throw an Aqua Tail at the Drapion, which we're not going to get. They get to an X-Scissor and take us out, but quite a close game that. I think if I'd have thrown double Leaf Blade at the Crustle rather than a Foul Play and then gone for a Leaf Blade, we might have just taken them out. Honestly, for a split second, I forgot that Leaf Blade is still neutral because of the rock typing being weak to grass, but the bug resisting it. So if we'd have played that right, we could potentially have taken the win in that game. It still would have been very, very close. This game we get a Probopass lead, which is brilliant for Rainy Castform. I think Probopass can learn an Electric Charge move that we'd have to watch out for, but I'm not 100% sure. Since they have Probopass, we're actually going to bring in Dragonair specifically to this Drapion. Dragonair is the better choice against Drapion in general, but we definitely want to avoid this being against the Probopass with all its health, because it would be a waste, because we resisted the Dragon Breath damage so much. They'd be able to get a lot of energy out of us. Get this Aqua Tail off, do a nice big chunk of super effective damage since it's not resisting the water type. We do get farmed down, bring in Castform, and they've got a Victreebel in the back. We get caught up for a few seconds there against that Razor Leaf because the switch timers are out of sync, which is absolutely horrendous for us. Does absolutely decimating amount of damage to Rainy Castform in just those couple of seconds. But now we've got Shiftry on it, and we shield an Acid Spray, which might seem like a mistake, but also we probably would have been taken out by the Acid Spray and the resulting following Razor Leaf damage if we hadn't have shielded it. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Probopass comes in, farms us down, which is unfortunate. We can get this Weather Ball off. Are we going to take them out? It's going to be close. If it's enough, it's going to give us the win. If not, it does. It takes them out. And we're able to just water gun down the Victreebel, just surviving one Razor Leaf. GG. I thought we'd lost that game there. I couldn't remember how it went. But, you know, this team's solid. I'm telling you, it's a good team. I would give it a go if you're unsure what to use in Remix Cup. It might work out for you. Castform's a little bit of an expensive build. Has to be quite a high level, but it's a solid performer for sure. Okay, I remember this matchup. This player has a Lickitung. I believe they have an XL Purified Wobbuffet, which is disgusting to build. It's disgusting to get a hold of. I think you need a Hundo Purified, you need to Best Buddy it, you need to level 50, and I think it's still only 1200 CP, and it is still broken. It is still ridiculously strong in the Great League. Has access to Count, has access to Return and Mirror Coat, and it just breaks down so many Pokemon. And I believe in this matchup it actually gets caught up against Shiftry, which you would think, oh well, Shiftry with Foul Play is going to do well, but Wobbuffet can just bulk it so well. It can survive, I believe, 2 or 3 Foul Plays without having to shield, and it's just chipping away with that counter damage. It's got the Return. It's a ridiculously strong Pokemon. So I'm going to leave you guys with this matchup. Playing away, you can see how it goes. Thank you all for watching this fight. If you've made it to this point, we're at nearly 45 minutes. You absolute legends. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to bring you guys some more interesting teams. We're going to try and bring you some more meta relevant and more strong teams for actual play. We're just having some fun in this video. But moving forward, try and bring you guys some stronger things. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.